Tokyo is the largest metropolitan area in the world with 37 million citizens. In this video, we are going to see if all of them could be fed by only vertical farming produce. To do that, we would need 2000 kilocalories for 37 million people every single day. Now let's take a look at the components of Japanese cuisine. It consists of fish, seaweed, soybeans, rice, poultry, pork, beef, noodles, chili peppers, mushrooms, wasabi, perilla, nagaimo, mihogo, Japanese parsley, daikon, and the same vegetables and other stuff as you've got in your local grocery store. Japan is a developed country after all, and with affluence comes diversity. Funny thing is that Japan imports about 60% of the food every year, even though they have about 46,000 square kilometers of farmland. That is about 0.092 hectares per capita. FAO once said that you need about half a hectare of farmland per person with conventional farming and diet that includes meat. And if you divide the total amount of agricultural land by the total amount of people on Earth, you get roughly the same number, about 0.62 hectares. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go with 1/2. If all of the farming went vertical, we could make it about 10 times less land needed per person, or about 0.05 hectares. So 37 million times 0.05 hectares equals 1,863,700 hectares, which is 18,637 kilometers squared. That means that just from 4% of Japan, we could feed about 1/3 of its whole population, aka every citizen in Tokyo. But of course, nothing is that simple. For example, how the heck can meat farming go vertical? Well, there are already companies that make plant-based meats or grow the real thing in a lab. So meat production can go vertical. Then we have one of the key parts of Japanese cuisine, wasabi. It's darn hard to grow this thing, and that's why it costs $160 for 1 kilo. Wasabi has very specific requirements for cultivation. For example, shady conditions, uniformly moist but not wet soil, and temperatures between 45 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit without a lot of temperature swings. And guess what is indoor farming good at? Delivering perfect conditions for every single crop type. So with a bit of effort, even wasabi could grow in a vertical farm. But then we have energy consumption and prejudice. These are the two biggest hindrances of modern farming practices. I did some questionable math and, well, This is approximately the energy consumption of the whole production system for 1 month. It's about 5 times more than the actual energy consumption of every single Tokyo citizen. So we would need about 38 of these plants just for the farming purposes. By the way, that's the biggest American nuclear plant. And last but not least is the prejudice against lab-grown meat. Some people have it, some don't, but I mean we can't just force people to eat lab-grown meat. Just kidding. Well, this should do for the roadblocks. But if Japan pulled this off, it could go from 40% food self-sufficiency to 74%, 34% of which could be completely sustainable depending on the energy sources. As a consequence, this could serve as a model example for the rest of the world for going real sustainable with their food production. And if you saw my last video, you know that this could save the earth.